to 30-ish. Well, our Stephen couldn't be with us today, but we have a very lovely guest host, another Stephen, actually, Stephen Seidel. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for joining us, Stephen.
I appreciate you guys bringing me on the show. Even Stephen, we like to keep it even keel.
Exactly.
Stephen for Stephen. You ready to get real?
See, that's how you like do replacements. You can only replace if you have the same name of the person you're replacing.
So you can't replace me.
Me too.
I will find a Rasha. I will find a Niena.
No, you won't. She'll be 2 years old.
You can't replace her. She's out here doing periscopes and doing all sorts of stuff.
Well, thanks for joining us,
Yes,
Stephen.
thank you for having me.
It's lovely to have you here
appreciate
today.
it.
Happy to be back.
And joining us later is a woman who has a very unique business idea. We'll be talking to her on our 30-ish segment titled Entrepreneurs. But first, you guys, the ish. What is going on in our world?
A lot.
Okay, well, there is a lot going on, and I don't know why this popped up, but I have always been a person growing up that my parents never taught me to see race. They always taught me to see a person for who they are, and, you know, if they're a good person, stick with them. If not, then don't. But I'm seeing so much happening in this world that involves race and racism, and I'm still surprised that it still exists. So my question to you guys is, why does race matter? Like, does it matter? Is it
I think
Where did you grow up?
I think
by
it's
the way?
definitely.
Where did I grow
does
up?
matter.
Yes.
I mainly grew up in the South,
Okay.
but my dad was in the military, so we traveled around a lot. So
I mean,
I have
it
a very
matters.
different perspective than
probably.
my relatives.
Yeah, but I mean, growing up, I'm half and half. I'm mixed. I'm a mixed girl. My mom was black and my dad was Italian. So for me, growing up, my mom always taught me and told me to make sure that I claimed and acknowledged and was proud of both sides of who I was as a whole. But I feel like because the world, there is so much inequality that still exists, there's a reason why there's an acknowledgement, a high acknowledgement for different cultures, races, and, you know, different things. Like, women still don't make as much as men, period. So it's not just race, it's an imbalance in certain things, and I think it's okay and it's important to acknowledge the differences in who we are, but still embrace and love them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like sometimes, yes, the race thing can turn into like sort of our history will not go away kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm racist. Like, same with you, Tony. I grew up in a house where I never knew any racial slurs until I went to, I'm in middle school. I think I learned some. I'm like, what does that even mean? And I had to ask my parents, and they're like, it's never in your vocabulary. Like, you always, same thing, judge people just based off of your interactions with them.
Yeah.
So it's always something that I've never, like, I always thought it was great to be Italian. So, like, I never saw myself as being a white girl. Like, I was always Italian, and, like, my friends would be German or, like, would be a black or whatever you were. But it's just, I feel like every time we go forward, we get a step back, and that's like what is going on with the election type of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I think maybe there's a lot more stemming from that, and of course with all the events that have been happening around town. I have to bring up something funny, which, same thing with my family, that we never really talked about that. It wasn't an issue, but I to this day will never forget, I was in high school, I was on a bus, and I had a white guy, I don't know what his problem was, he actually said to me, go back to your country. And I said to him, wait, but this is my country. I was born and brought up here. And to hear that was one of the first few times I'd ever even, heard something like that or had dealt with something. And my parents really didn't know how to kind of interact with that or teach me how to respond. We were 14.
Wow. And he was 14 too?
Yes.
You're not born. You're not born racist.
No,
he got that from his
and,
family.
And to that too, I think Steve and I were talking earlier. But I mean, it's funny to think that even in this day and age, Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, Ku Klux Klan. Hillary Clinton just did the campaign for Donald Trump with that. But I think as a white male, having been in a system where they're constantly at the top, even with whites and blacks and women and males, it's our duty to step up. Granted, all lives matter, but black lives do matter, blue lives matter, but in a moment where we need to step up and identify that there are problems in this world and stand out, and it is up to a lot of us white males to get out there, and when people talk about racism or people that are not equal, we are all equal, and I stand by Black Lives Matter. I don't know if you said that, but they do matter.
And I love that you're saying that, because there was someone who in a class that I was in was like, well, all lives matter. I'm like, okay, like, being a white person, I didn't fully understand that as well until a friend of mine who is black explained it to me. And being a white woman, I've never really dealt with the repression or any kind of real racism in my life. So who am I to tell somebody else what racism is or how to feel? Like, I'm almost like sick, like even the thought of someone being like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And growing up as a mixed race child in this country, it was difficult for me. It was a lot of challenges because I wasn't black enough to be with all the black girls, and I wasn't white enough to be with the white girls. So I was treated a very kind of standoffish way. So my two best friends were a Latin young lady and an Indian. Like, those were my friends, because we weren't embraced into any groups. We didn't fit into a box. And I remember like taking the standardized test, and you know how they'll have like 3 categories: you're black, white, or Asian Pacific Islander. Like, there was only 3 choices.
I'm still an other.
I made a box, and to this day, if that box is not there, I will make other. You're not gonna make me pick between sides, because my mom taught me to definitely embrace both sides of who I am. I'm proud of that. I hold my head high, and if I have and when I have kids, I'm gonna raise them to feel the same way, because growing up as a mixed kid, it was very difficult. Like, now it's like trendy to have mixed kids, but honestly, it's no, it really is trendy, unfortunately. But honestly,
it's all gonna be mixed
it's
one day.
difficult. It's difficult for a mixed kid to grow up because they don't directly identify with one category, and society tells you that you have to pick when you don't.
I think that we should keep the mentality that we had as very young kids. I've seen so many videos where, you know, you put kids in a classroom and they're all playing with one another. They're having fun. And there seems like there just seems to be a transition where you start noticing, you know, the differences. And I just feel like that is sometimes learned in a household.
Absolutely.
And then it just it carries with you. I have been fortunate enough to where I actually haven't experienced any sort of racism, but sometimes lately I've been feeling like, do people just look at me as a black male? And I've worked very hard to see beyond labels, you know, beyond being a black male, beyond being a gay male. Like, I'm Tony. And there's so many different sides to Tony that you should get to know that side before you judge me based on my outside. When I was in middle school, because, you know, I'm always doing stuff with my hair.
Looks good, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You don't need to blow any more smoke.
I wanted to get braids because I saw this guy on TV. He had braids, and I was like, oh, I totally want to do that. It wasn't until I got older that my father told me that he considered whether or not I should have it just because of what it might represent. He didn't want anyone looking at me as if I were a thug or a hoodlum or something like that. He wanted everyone to still see me for a young, educated African American male. I didn't think about that. I was just like, I want my hair in braids. But he allowed me to do it because I did represent those things. I was doing well in school. I was definitely someone who marched to the beat of their own drum, and it was full of glitter.
And you
and you know, and so my dad was like, you know what, he's a strong enough person, an educated person, a smart person to like be able to have that.
Well, and I feel like you should embrace your culture as well. And that kind of goes into something kind of funny where we were all texting getting ready for a show, and I spray tan myself a lot. I tend to be very pale.
Me too.
And I know that we just so funny.
All right.
But and I send this text to everybody. I'm like, about something, I'm like, anyways, just spray tan myself, # white girl problems. And I thought it was funny. Like, I just didn't really think much about it. And so, and I also have like, I'm also very short. And so I also have short,
you guys have a lot in common.
But I want to hear what you're, because we're embracing our differences. Because we are different. We are all different, and we should be. But what are some of your # like whatever problems?
Short girl, light skin, need to spray tan. I'm right with you on those.
I try and stay away from the hashtags, but I have a lot of friends who are actors, and they often do the # actor life, and they make it seem like their life is so difficult, but
it is. That's so stressful. Like, I would never want to be an actor. Y'all are putting yourself through a lot of
struggle
stress.
learning how to do that Periscope account and figuring out how to get
And all social media.
Yeah.
I feel like life is just a struggle.
Yeah.
But
It is, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful life. We all live a beautiful
blessed.
life, and especially us in LA. Like, we live in an amazing city. I'm from
Yes.
Chicago, which is another
I love
amazing
Chicago.
city. But it's like we live a beautiful life. So I think hashtags are really funny. Like I
love
posted
it
a
too.
picture of like a Throwback Thursday picture, and I said on the throwback like we were the flyest, like because my friend and I were the flyest. But
I
it's
gotta
like
follow
funny,
you on Twitter.
funny hashtags.
non-stop
Like,
entertainment.
my
I've
Instagram
been
is like
entertained this
so
whole
live.
show.
Yes.
So live
New
95,
biggest
honey.
fan. This is great.
Yes.
But for me, one of my problems that I always deal with, is when someone wants to take a photo. And I always remind them, I'm like, listen, I'm of a dark skin complexion. Like, we have to make sure lighting is just right, because not everybody wants to use that little thing called flash. And if you don't use flash, sometimes I just blend in.
Unless
to
you're
surroundings.
standing next to two light bright girls, it will be
No.
natural flash.
No, it is a
helps
problem. I have
sometimes.
seen photos of me where it would be you,
Mm-hmm.
space, and then you. And if I am not smiling, if I am not like doing
You were doing your
something,
blue steel.
yes.
Can you
If
post
it
one
is
of them?
not,
Post one of them on your Twitter or
oh,
something. We gotta
I
see
definitely will.
one of these.
Actually, this happened the other day.
Okay, share
like
that.
I was like, listen, you got to change the filter on that so you can see me.
I'm gonna tell you, every filter doesn't work for everybody. So I try to be very. When I
definitely
post
not.
pictures of like, if there's like 3 of us or 4 of us or a group of us, of course I'm gonna pick the one that I look best in because, honey, it's my Instagram. But I try to be mindful of everybody else, so I pick a universally flattering filter for everyone.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because there
but
are certain ones that are only good for like lighter tones. or
y'all
darker
need to
tones.
use your flash when someone of a dark skin complexion is there, or
Okay.
turn around so
All right,
that the light
no
is hitting me the
taking.
right way.
Is there an app for
No,
that?
take
maybe?
it.
There is
there
an
needs
app.
to be.
Okay.
Or I need to get one of those loomies or those light things.
Or
that-
the app was
It
the
lights
app.
up.
Tony,
And
you
just
can
be
make an
like-
app called Get Your Light. Get your light. Instead of
Get your
Get Your
light.
Life.
Get
Get
your
your
light.
light.
What other
Okay.
problems?
Oh God.
Rasha, what
Okay,
you
so
got?
my problem's a personal one. I'm sure a lot of females can relate to this.
Okay.
I have hashtag boob issues because
I do
there's-
not have that.
I don't-
I
Wow,
do because
I didn't
they're
even know that it existed.
yes, it exists because,
Because they're too big or
they're
too small?
too big.
Oh, okay.
And so like I get
They're
back
never too
issues.
big.
That's not a problem.
y'all tell
over
her?
here.
I know that's not a problem
Got-
for men, but like there's
I
certain
don't know. I
things.
got a strong A cup going on here.
There's certain things I want to wear that I can't wear.
You know,
and it
my
frustrates
my
me.
larger
'Cause
chest
I end
friends
up
do
looking
say
like
that.
a hoe bag if I wear certain tops. And it's just, yeah.
But you know what? Just
That's
have
been an
kids.
issue
Just
I've
have
been dealt
kids.
with.
After you have kids, they
Great.
die.
Oh boy.
No, I mean, I don't think. First of all, I think whatever you got, you should wear proudly, big
Oh,
or
girl, I'm
small
proud.
or whatever.
I'm proud.
But I
But
know
you
there
just think
are
they get
some
in the way.
dresses. Like there are some dresses that some women that are not as largely endowed can wear without bras,
Yeah.
and then there's some women who have to wear a bra all the time.
Yes, that's what I'm
So
talking
I get
about.
it, but I think
get
it's
it.
just sexy. Let the girls live, honey.
Now, what about you,
Thank you,
Niena? What are the you listed them earlier, but what's your thing that you go through?
I mean, I think it's kind of funny. I don't have. It's not a problem.
She's
It's
got no
just.
problems.
It's not. I don't. I have no problems, honey.
She's good.
I do run into, and this is just often enough, where people mistake me. They don't know because I am multiracial that they don't know what I am. So I get people from all different ethnicities walking up to me speaking a million different
I would have
languages.
thought Dominican.
That's cute.
No,
Well,
don't-
Dominican is
don't get
one.
mad at me,
Okay,
but I was
some people think I'm Latin, so I accept and I take all of them as a compliment. But it's funny because I wish I knew like 10 languages.
Yeah.
Because I could
You better get that
literally.
Rosetta
So
Stone.
hashtag
Yeah.
language
I am.
problem.
Hashtag language.
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, language problems. But you know,
Okay.
there's an app for that.
There is an app. for
There's an
that.
app. It's called Translation, and I basically will talk to people. I've had conversations in different languages, but it takes a little bit longer.
Steven, what about you?
I'd rather talk about translation of love, and there's a lot of love going on. We're talking about kids and families. I'm a
Yes.
dad. My daughter just turned 2.
Oh, congratulations!
Happy birthday
I
to
appreciate it.
her.
Savannah, I know when you watch it, she'll be proud of Tony. So that's cool. But I want to talk about relationships, and there's been talk about divorcing, a divorce with Brad and Angelina, and I
Okay.
think that you talked about kids. That presents a problem when parents get divorced. Do you think it's an easy way out to get divorced, or should they
Yeah.
stay together because they have kids?
Oh no! See,
No, you should not do that.
No,
Oh, you
my
should stay
parents
out.
got divorced when I was 21. And I was actually like, good for y'all, because
Yeah.
you should be happy. And I feel
But
like
they
it-
waited till you were 21. Maybe there were problems before, but to have solid parents, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
But
about bringing
did you
up
feel
right.
the tension between them growing up?
I
That's a good
did.
question.
I did.
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
I did. I don't. looking back, I wouldn't have wanted I would rather them be happy than to stay together for us.
That's what I'm hearing from a lot of actually psychologists and kids too later, saying, I wish my parents didn't wait for so long because I knew that they were unhappy. But I mean, going back to the whole thing about, is it a way out? I think that's a very interesting question, because I think we're in a time period now where people are like, I'm not going to deal with this. Like, I can't handle this. I don't want to. Yes, I made a commitment, but you know what? Screw it. It's just easier to walk out. It's easy, so I'm going to get out of it. And I think that
they look for that loophole.
Yes,
because we all know when we read contracts, you look for that loophole. And
I don't even read them. I'm just like
but
you gotta read, honey.
You know why? You know why you don't read them? Because there's a loophole. You can get out of whatever it is that you're not reading.
You're not. You know what? This is the thing. My mother always said to me, as long as you have options, you are great. And life has given us. We live in a country where we have options. That's why there are people that do get divorced. Yeah. Whether the rate is actually as high as people say it is or not, that's still up for debate.
That's questionable. I
think it's funny.
No, they're saying that 50% is actually questionable.
But to me, I think what's so funny is one of my male friends said to me is that women are usually the ones that get the divorce or that break up in relationships. Men, they'll just stay married forever, or they'll just stay in a relationship. Like, they're never going to break up. They'll cheat on us, or they'll just deal with it, like whatever. They're just never going to be the ones to break up. And I think that's hilarious, because it's like, why would you stay in it if it's not working? Because
I love that perspective from
you. make a commitment, though.
Yeah.
When you make a commitment to someone, especially having grown up with divorced parents, it's something that when I'm married now, I made a commitment to my wife, and I'm willing to work through thick and thin. And just like I was listening to Richer for Poor, all that stuff. Listening to Tony Robbins yesterday talking about suffering and versus living a life of fulfillment and happiness. Choose to be happy. We make decisions and fight through those decisions. Yeah. I think if you're going to make a commitment, you should hold that.
And I feel like if you have any reservations, don't go into it.
Yeah.
Like, go into it knowing that this is it. Like, and I understand people change, people grow, things like that. But I know of people who have gotten married.
And they knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
People got married so young, though. See how
this is my whole point. Go ahead.
If you get married young, like if you're. You still need to be completely sure. Like, there are people who I feel like, if it's 2021, you're gonna change.
20, 30, 40, you're different.
Have you guys ever been engaged, married, or
I was
divorced?
engaged.
So
you were engaged. Okay.
I really am like aching to speak, because I am married too as well.
Yeah, great.
And I will say it's very easy to be in love, fall in love, and marriage is very hard. And I love my husband, and I would do anything for him, but it is hard, and kids make it harder. And so I think that sometimes you don't know, even if you think you know in the beginning, you don't know until you're in it. Yeah. And I think, bottom line, I think if you try to do everything you can to make it work, it is not worth your happiness to be in an unhappy relationship. And I think so many of the times divorces, when they end and there's kids involved and it's not amicable and there's so much hatred, that's where it's bad. Like, if you can have a divorce and still have your children but have it be amicable, and I feel like a lot of movies and things like that, they're trying to show that as well. I really believe that is what put your kids first. Put them first. And if you don't have kids, put your happiness first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm taking my time. I'm single, and I had an opportunity to get married, but I chose not to for a variety of different reasons.
Good.
And I trusted my instinct. That's really what it came down. Like, that black box, the airplanes have. We were born with a black box, and it's called our heart and our instincts, and you got to trust them in any situation in your life. And it moves into your happiness. Like, you have to be happy. That's the point of you being on this earth. Exactly. Is for you to be to the core. You are a nucleus of happiness. Yes. And then that actually moves on to other people. It spreads. It's like that's why we're here. So I totally agree with you.
I think at the end of the day, don't go into a marriage situation thinking that divorce is an option.
And I don't think a lot of people do, though. I think there's people who...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think they all, like, with the options
you think
out
it's
there.
Bad? It's in the back of your mind?
It's the back of your mind.
Really?
It's just a paper, da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
Versus I'd rather you not even sign the paper and just be a lifetime partner.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Y'all don't look for that loophole.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend all this money on that one day, make sure that it is truly forever. If there are issues that prevent that,
not just money,
that
though.
are not for right.
But they say that's one of the number one reasons. Money is the actual number one reason why people get
that's because
divorced.
people are selfish.
All right, well, speaking of selfish and happiness, there's a lot of cool trends going on in the market right now, whether it's trying some type of new waxing or tattoos
That
or
just
whatever it may be.
hurt my body thinking of the waxing. It just hurt me.
So, anything that's been on your guys' mind that you want to try? Because I know there's something I've been wanting to do.
I want to try cupping. You know the cupping that everybody's been doing in the Olympics? Well, I used to, like, back when I was in hair school, I worked at a salon and they had a spa as well. And they used to do, God bless you. They used to do the cupping there, and I thought these people were insane. And now, I mean, cut to like, this is at least 6 years later, I'm like, you see Michael Phelps in the Olympics with the cupping and all. I mean, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to try, Rasha?
I know, I'm so now
I have something I'm just going to tell you after you talk about yours.
Oh, mine's not a bit. Mine's a tattoo. I've always wanted a tattoo. I know, but I still want one.
I've never got a tattoo. I thought about getting
I'm
one
waiting
on
this
my
one
wrist.
because
On my
brings
wrist
us
or
up
the
She's
back
gonna
of
have
my
something
neck.
crazy.
So,
I know it.
okay, so mine, I did try something, and honey, it did not end up very well.
Just taking a look first.
No, I am okay. Trust me, but I will never do this again. I tried getting a, I don't know what they call it, where you get your
Acupuncture?
stuff. No, you get your body cleaned out.
A colon cleanse?
No, it was a colonoscopy, a colonic.
That's like they do in the...
God is speaking. Thank you.
That's our engineer.
But there's out here in LA, there's a more sophisticated way for them to say what it is.
Okay.
And one of my friends back home sweared by it. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I get it every year. It's so good for you. You're gonna feel like you have so much energy. You're gonna feel great. It's so healthy for you. It's so great." I was like, "Hold on. I eat a lot of vegetables and a lot of fiber, and my body, moves pretty well. Pretty smoothly. So I don't really need anything to force. I think anything you force your body to do is not always good. I will never do that again.
Why?
Did you get it on video?
So uncomfortable. No, absolutely, unequivocally, undeniably, no, that is not on video. 2, it was very, very uncomfortable. It was just
uncomfortable.
It was just very uncomfortable, and I just will never do that, and I will never advise anyone to do that.
Did you feel better after? Like, did you have energy, like they said?
No,
Okay.
I was like in shock and distraught. I was more like, I was like mad at myself. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Don't ever do that again.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
It was not a good move. So sometimes, we want to try these trendy things, and you are traumatized, honey. So let's keep it normal.
How about you guys?
I want to try cryotherapy.
Oh, me too.
Which
I've heard about that, where you freeze yourself.
It's the real deal. I mean, a lot of people
Russell
do
Simmons does that
Russell
a
Simmons
lot.
does it. Tony Robbins, who I brought up earlier. A lot of athletes do it to help the connective tissue. It helps your face. But also, it just kind of allows you to get back into the moment.
So, Stephen,
you get into the
for our viewers,
chamber
what is it?
thing.
It's like you get into
cryotherapy. It's like a chamber that you get in. Essentially, the temperature drops to like something like negative 200 degrees, and it's super freezing. They had it on Shark Tank. We were talking about Shark Tank earlier, but it allows you to sort of reconnect, and it helps your tissues, your skin, and
How
just
long
your
are you
body.
in there?
Very short, like a couple seconds, like not long at all.
Yeah.
But you bucket naked.
Like
though.
15 seconds. Yeah, you're
you
naked.
can wear whatever
You're
you
like boxer
want.
shorts, or you have like, a
You
bra
could wear that
top
suit.
on.
You could wear your undies. You could wear that. You could
I wear
wear
this too. I'm coming out looking like the Iceman.
I would actually try that only because the people that I've seen do it are all older and like super healthy. Like they're so healthy.
Yeah.
You like, what is your
skin
fountain of
looks
youth?
nice.
Yeah, like that's the only reason why I might try that.
The only thing that I have thought about trying, and because it sounds like it's supposed to like rebalance and make your body feel good, is acupuncture. Did I say that right?
Acupuncture.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
She's tried it all over here.
yeah, you have.
I mean, yeah,
I just I
out here.
the thought of needles going in
They're
is,
so thin. They're
kinda
like
scares me,
paper
though.
thin. They're paper
I don't
thin.
think you really feel
Yeah.
it.
No.
And they did it
but
on my
looks,
face too.
It looks relaxing though. Like it looks like your body gets centered.
It's
and,
like Chinese medicine, like where they look at your eyes and your tongue and see what's wrong with you. And when I first did it, I took my mom to do acupuncture, she was battling breast cancer. And I remember, and this is what made me try it, is I would take her for these holistic different treatments, a lot of different types of things, and that was one of them. When she would come out of acupuncture, she was like, everything was brighter, clearer. She felt so much better.
So
in kind of combating the effects of chemo. And so, she was very exhausted, tired, drained. And so just as a normal person, it would probably still elevate your,
Then I need that.
What's the cost on that? What's the cost
It depends. It depends on what you need. Like, you go in and they ask you what you have going on, and then they'll target certain areas based on what you tell them. So you don't it doesn't have to be all over your body. It's in certain specific places, like maybe on your toes, on the palms of your feet.
Is it where you have pain?
Where you feel pain.
No,
or
it's not
some
physically.
releasing of pressure.
That's the interesting thing about acupuncture is it's not specifically where you're having the actual
Because I think
problem
that's where
at.
cupping is, where you have pain. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
see, cupping is all along your back. Acupuncture can be on your hands. It can be on your face. It can be on your back. It can be on your butt. It can be on your feet. It can be in different places. But there's like this, you can Google it, but there's like a map of your body. And our nervous system is tapped into every little part of our body. And so they focus. If you say, oh, I'm having a headache, it might be at your wrist.
Right.
It might be, beneath your butt. Like, it's like random places, so they know exactly
Well, I'm
where
gonna
to go.
try that instead of going to Popeyes on a Tuesday. And
You should never go to Popeyes anyway.
That's what makes me happy, though. That's what
Wait,
refocuses me.
Guys, before we go to commercial, has anybody here tried that thing where you put your feet in the water and they have
And
like
they
the fish?
With the fish?
Yeah,
No,
with
I
the
heard
fish.
that
What
was
is
very.
that?
I'm very
Are you talking about
ticklish.
Biting off at your
Pokeballs?
dead.
No, you Pokeball.
I'm ticklish. I can't do fish.
I think they eat off the dead skin, right?
Yeah, like you put your feet in, they eat like
Yeah.
the dead
Like a
skin off.
piranha bath or something.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I don't
I've
do
never-
You
that.
would have tried that.
No, I
Nina.
have friends
Okay.
that have tried it, and no one said they've had a positive experience.
No. Okay, so I'm not trying that for
infections
sure.
and things like that. Nope.
All right.
Can you have an acupuncture guy come to your house?
Absolutely.
so.
I'm sure you
Like
can.
Uber for acupuncture? Just be like, hey,
Yeah,
dude,
I'm
Let's
sure.
put it out
I'm
there.
sure there's an app for
I'm sure
it.
somebody's
Hi,
watching.
man.
They can.
Uber
Steven
has
wants
Eats,
that.
so
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they can do Uber acupuncture.
Yeah, Uber acupuncture.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I don't know what you guys are going to try, but we're going to try to keep you tuned in. We will be right back with more 30-ish after this break.
What's up, party people? Roxy Stryer here from The Tomorrow Show with Keven Undergaro. We're your twice weekly broadcast of one man's midlife crisis and the mad millennials in Star Trek uniforms that follow him.
And I'm one of those millennials, Lauren Lagrasso here. We've had some amazing guests like Russell Simmons, Ileana Douglas, and Craig Gass. Coolio, right?
Christian Blatt in the house to tell you to go to thetomorrowshow.com to check us out. We're live every Monday and Thursday from 10 to midnight Eastern. That's thetomorrowshow.com. Be there or be square, whatever that means.
Welcome back. Now, we wanted to take time and shine some light on people who have taken their passions into their hands and started their own business. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment we call 30-ish Entrepreneurs.
All right, and we are so excited today to have with us Jasmine Ejan, who's created a very unique product that helps you keep it fresh before doing the do.
That's
Jasmine, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Jasmine. So, tell us about your very unique product.
Well, I am the creator of Blowpaste, which is
Blowpaste.
Which is already a catchy enough title.
Thanks. I came up
Whatever
with
you
that
guys
title.
are thinking, you're probably
You're right.
right. Well, what exactly is
Oh,
Blowpaste?
it's a edible lube that's also vegan, so we don't test on animals.
Yes.
And it comes in 3 flavors: orange gasmic, minty Sanchez, and cinnamon. And it's not really a paste; it's a
Cinnamon.
lube.
That's for you,
Yeah.
Tony.
So go ahead. What
Oh,
how
and
do you
it's
use it?
also the only lube in the world that's good for your teeth.
How
For
is
your
that?
teeth.
Yeah, there's sodium bicarbonate. I studied toothpaste and lube and kind of made my own concoction.
So it's a lube toothpaste.
Well,
Kind
Yeah, I mean, you probably could brush your teeth with it in some ways, but it is used for enhancing your love life. And some people have used it as lip gloss and for their dry skin.
Okay,
Really?
well,
Yeah.
it's very versatile then.
But yeah, it's water-based, condom safe.
Yeah. So what made you start this?
Well, I used to play with flavored lubes years ago with a former love. And when I was creating this, at the time, I was with my entrepreneurial partner. And I told him, wouldn't that be great if there was a lube that was good for your teeth so you didn't have to brush your teeth after? And the next day he called and he said, that's a great idea. So during that time, I was on tour for the Peter Pan show. I also do musical theater. And during our hiatus, I studied ingredients and created this lube, which has been tested throughout all of musical theater land.
Of course you would start
yes.
with musical theater people.
Yes, they're the coolest and most open-minded, fun people.
And Jasmine, that's interesting to me because you're actually a performing artist. I mean,
Yeah.
so one would think that you might start a dance school or a singing program or something.
Yeah.
But so how did you fall into this? And I would be nervous to start a business like this because it really isn't a typical business to go into. It's a
Right.
very competitive industry and it's a
Very.
controversial item as well.
Yes, especially in conservative America.
Yeah, absolutely.
And coming from Asian background, my parents don't know.
They don't,
They
really?
don't. Although they're starting to get a little savvy on the internet, so maybe they'll probably...
Do you think
Yeah.
that they would be upset or have a problem with this?
I don't know, but that would be another show.
yeah,
segment.
that would be.
that
But let's go
definitely
back to how, like, outside of, like, you started this whole business on your own,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes, well, at first I thought it was just going to be, this little thing, and we had a little, not kicks, Indiegogo to launch it, and then the Huffington Post saw our bit, and then it just exploded, and I got all these orders. Next thing you know, we're in a store, and I thought, I guess this is seriously legit, and everyone loved our stuff.
Yeah.
And then by year 2, I had been in 50-plus stores. Come 3 years, which is year 3 now, I'm in 60-plus stores, and I'm now being tested in this by a major distributor and another major store. And I've gotten a plethora of orders from Europe
Wow.
and Asia. And here I am mixing the lube in my lubratory.
Where is that located?
In Chicago.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Love Chicago.
So this is the classic idea of, because I feel like when we talk to our friends and we tend to have like these little ideas and things like that, but we don't push ourselves to just do it. But you actually had this really
vision.
unique, simple idea, and you started the research of like ingredients and mixing them up, and like you made it happen.
Well, I think growing up as a ballerina, I have this discipline of training, and I get obsessed, and I try to figure out why. How does this work? How can I make this work? And with my eye of, looking at dance and performance, it's like branding. How would you... It's like putting on a show, which is
Right.
what I've been doing all my life.
Yeah.
Making Blowpaste is like putting on a show.
Yeah.
So with that, and then seeing, wow, I can actually probably make some money doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my master's in education, and I used to teach at the Performing Arts School. But because this was pulling at me, I thought, well, I guess I'm making lube.
Was there ever a fear, Jasmine? I mean, especially when you're launching something new as an
Yes.
entrepreneur, first-time business owner.
Yes.
What, how did you get over that fear? What were some other maybe challenges that you had?
Yes, in the beginning, I used to stammer and blush profusely to talk about this because I did not grow up talking about this openly. Like my parents, my mom gave me a book called The Nutcracker Has AIDS when I was 11, and I didn't get it.
Wow.
So we never had that talk. They just assumed whatever was given in school was it. So, and I didn't find out till later through my friends and whatnot. So what really made me successful was when my mentors and my other really great friends, they took me by the shoulders and they said, Jasmine, this could buy your house. This could be something. And they basically told me, put on your big girl panties and be
do
full
it.
out with it. And I thought, you know what? This is my moment in time. This is my $1 million idea. Nobody has this idea in the world. I'm going to go for it. What am
Yeah.
I going to lose?
Yeah.
So I went with it, and throughout that journey, I've met lots of amazing people. I've learned about branding and marketing. I'm the operations. I do lots of things, and now I consult with other companies, and they ask my opinion. So, like, I've also studied labels when I relaunched my Blowpaste tubes, because when it first came out, it was just plain and simple.
Yeah.
So with that whole journey, I'm still here doing it.
Yeah. So is it just you?
Yes, it is just me.
That's running. Oh my gosh. So what are the things you've mentioned some of the things that you've kind of had to like teach yourself, like just about business. What are some interesting things that you've found out along this business journey?
Well, there
There's
are
a
a
lot.
lot of sharks out there.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Southside Oxnard, and it's to be in my group of friends, because I also grew up in a military background. There's reliability and reputation, and so to gain people's trust, because it took me a long time just to get on a shelf, because
Brand new.
yeah, brand
Yeah.
new. I'm not a business person. I'm not in the adult business. I'm just a musical theater actor.
Yeah.
So I
With an
had
idea.
to, I had to make these contacts and then take months and show proof of, and it has to start somewhere. I'm like, but it's great, I get reorders, but then how can I get there if I'm here? But it's selling, and it's
Yeah.
just the constant battle. And then there's also the people you meet, like I said, the sharks who just want it for your contacts, or, you meet all kinds of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And then the guys who think, oh wait, she's talking about lube, and then they think I'm hitting on them or something.
Right.
So it's just like, and then I have to be nice because
Yeah.
I'm a public figure.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so
And how long has this journey been for you?
oh gosh, since 2013.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's fairly new, but you've been
Yeah.
able to accomplish so much.
Yeah, yes,
Right.
my mentors all keep saying, because I'm always thinking, gosh, we need to do this and that. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah.
And they say I'm on the right path.
And
So.
has this been a great source of income for you thus far?
For me and my spending habits, no, I'm just kidding. It has been, I have some income,
Yeah.
but I've always pushed that right back into
Into your product.
my product.
Yeah.
Because it's growing exponentially. The sales have doubled last year than the year before.
Yeah.
So right now I'm working on making this commercial. I just produced the jingle. It's going to be so cool. So that's the next project,
Yeah.
is making this really cool thing.
Right. Good.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you had advice to give to somebody who was a new entrepreneur, or someone who wanted to pursue an idea or get into the business, what would you tell them?
I would say you have to be really passionate about the idea. You have to love it, because, maybe it could happen to someone, but you're not going to be a gazillionaire overnight. And it requires a lot of hard work. You're going to give up your 20-hour work week for 80 hours. And if you really believe, then other people will believe. And if you, stay in it and work hard, then all things are possible.
Because I think we often get discouraged at the thought of starting a business, and I think we definitely have so many ideas, and we just don't push ourselves to actually do
Sure.
it. And it's just great to see, even though this is a very unique product, it's great to see someone who took that and that one little idea and pushed it, and you have this now. So, and it's working for you. You found a very niche market that you took time to research and figure out the logistics of everything, and you're still moving forward.
Yeah, because of Blowpaste, the world is happier. I've enhanced relationships. Some of my friends say that their husbands say, "Wanna brush your teeth?" So, they're able to laugh. See, you guys laugh, everyone laughs, and then they try my stuff, and they're like, "Wow, your stuff's really good."
Yeah.
And then people will pretend that they don't or whatnot, but then they actually reorder, and they've been really dedicated customers.
Loyal customers.
Yes, loyal, that's
You
the
already
word.
have loyal customers, which is good.
It's building that reputation, and so yes, so far so good.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you, Jasmine, for joining us today.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing
this.
your Blowpaste.
Yes,
Yes,
it's a
yes,
neat
yes.
idea.
I will give you guys some after, so
Oh.
you can tell me how it goes.
Now, if any of you guys want to try out these products, you can check her out on chickychacha.com.
That's right.
She has all the information. You can find out more about the products. And we sure had a great time. And hopefully she'll leave some samples here for Tony. And
So, why just for me? You need some too.
yes, for all of us. And on that note, we will be right back. Don't go away. Maybe go check out her website, but we have a lot more fun happening here on 30ish.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. We want to let you know about my new show on SiriusXM Stars Channel 109. It's called Conversations with Maria, and it's live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go to conversationswithmaria.com for more info.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Well, that was a very interesting show that we have had. Very special thanks to Jasmine Ejan for sharing with us her very unique business that she started, and we wish her well wishes on that. And Stephen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Did you have a great time?
I had a blast. I can't wait to tune in for all of the episodes and just glue it to Black Hollywood Live on the 30-ish.
That's right. Oh, I like that plug that you did. Yes, I appreciate that.
You got to keep it ish.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in as always, and we'll be right back with a new episode this Wednesday. You definitely don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in to 30-ish.
Bye.
The views expressed here are those of the host and do not necessarily
Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff. We would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.